What's up, meat geeks? Nick here with Paradise Locker. Tis the season for the holidays, and that means holiday meals. One of those you might be thinking about is prime rib. So we've been getting a ton of calls, people getting orders in for prime ribs and getting ready. So wanted to throw a little video together about just kind of my thoughts when it comes to cooking. A little, some of my tips or tricks, if you want to call them that. Keep in mind, I'm not a chef by any means. I'm no expert, but I have cooked a few prime ribs before, and have a few things that I like to do. So just thought I'd hop on here and kind of share those with you guys and let you know. One thing I want to start with is the seasoning. I always go heavier than what I think I should when I'm seasoning on prime rib roast. You got a really big piece here, and the seasoning's just touching on the outside, so you've got a lot of intermuscular or inside meat that's getting unseasoned. So I like to go heavier than I think I should on the outside of the roast, and so you get a really nice one. It helps you with a really nice crust on the outside once it's cooked, but it helps you get a good amount of seasoning on the outer part of your slice of prime rib that can kind of help carry some of that seasoning flavor throughout your bite as you're eating into the middle section of those pieces. So don't be shy with your seasonings. Second thing is when you're cooking, is always kind of the conversation back and forth of, hot and fast versus low and slow. I personally prefer low and slow. Really, the only reason that I prefer that is I feel we've cooked some hot and fast before. I genuinely do it low and slow. I feel like I end up with a little bit more once the cooking process is done when I do it low and slow. It seems to me, and I haven't done really much to quantify this or to prove it, but it does seem to me like there's a little bit more of a roast there when I'm cooking it low and slow versus hot and fast. I think you lose a little bit more. You don't yield quite as much when you do a hot and fast cook. Either one work good and they still work out good. So, to each their own there. I just feel like you yield out a little bit more. And then the last thing is these guys right here. And an internal temperature probe or a thermometer is your friend here. It takes a lot of the guesswork out, and I don't know if you've ever overcooked a prime rib before. I have, because I wasn't really paying attention to the temperature, the internal temperature of the roast, and ended up being overdone. So what I like to do with these is when we're cooking them, play with your time and your temperatures as you should. There's plenty of outlets out there that give you rough ideas of temperatures to cook at and times to cook at those based on the size of the roast that you're using. But these things are your best friend when it comes to making sure that you're getting that perfect temperature to end up. So kind of the way I go with ours is right here. You want to go in the thickest portion of your roast. So figure out the absolute thickest spot. Go into the top down to the center of that thickest spot, and that's where you want to read your temperature from, because that's going to be the piece of the meat that's heating up the slowest. So when I finish off my roasts, typically down to the center in the thickest part, I like to go 130, 135-ish, about the highest in the very center portion. And once you pull that thing out of the oven or you pull it off the smoker, however you're doing it, it's going to continue to cook up a little bit. So you're going to get normally about 5 or 10 degrees more than what your temperature says when you pull it out of the oven. It's going to continue to cook for a little bit longer. So about 130 to 135, and that ends up putting the center of your roast and the middle section of your roast right around medium rare, and then out towards the outsides a little bit more towards the medium side. So, take those if you want to, and go home, try them out. It's kind of like what I like to do with the rib roast. So, if you guys like it, let me know what you think. Drop some comments down below. How do you guys cook your prime rib roast at home? There's plenty of different ways to do it, and I don't think really any of them are wrong. So, let us know how you like them. Let us know what you guys do, and we appreciate you stopping in. We'll see you next time.